Over the past few weeks, we tackled the issues of race structure and race programming, along with weight for age and the drag effect of weight. In tonight's Punter series, we look at merit ratings and handicapping and how they can assist you in making more informed betting decisions. Tony, what does a horse's merit rating mean?
Well, a horse's merit rating is really just the numerical assessment that the handicapper allocates to a horse once he starts performing in races. And that assessment is really, one can call it an ability rating that the handicapper, it's a number that he gives him, and that's how what he believes his ability is based on a number.
How soon after a horse starts running will the handicapper allocate a rating to that horse?
Generally, the handicappers, if a horse doesn't win in his first start or his second start, they like to only allocate a horse a rating once he's had 3 runs. I think the reason being that often a horse first time out, he may not be completely race fit. He's obviously going to lack racing experience. So it's difficult for one to assign an accurate rating to a horse after 1 or 2 runs. So certainly by the 3rd run, the handicapper then will be pretty confident that this horse has now had 2 starts under his belt. One's got to assume that the trainer's worked out what distance he's best suited to. The horse has learned something having had 2 races prior to this, and after the 3rd rating he'll allocate the horse a rating. But the handicapper does give a horse what he calls a ghost rating after his 1st and 2nd run, but he'll only publish it after its 3rd start. If the horse wins, however, in his 1st or 2nd start, the trainer then of course is entitled to nominate that horse to run in any race, and once he nominates that horse, the handicapper then has to nail his colours to the mask and give that horse a rating, and that's really just his assessment on the ability of that horse against the whole of the horse population that's racing at present.
What factors do handicappers use when deciding on a horse's merit rating?
The handicapper generally will look at, they'll take 1 or 2 lion horses in the race. And by that, what we mean is that the handicapper will choose 2 horses that have performed, in their opinion, to their rating that's presently allocated to them. The horse in question will then, he will look at that horse in question, that he's rating, relative to the performance of the other 2 horses that he considers are horses that have run to their rating, and assess him accordingly. A handicapper, once a horse has achieved a rating and he's running in a handicap race, a handicap race after all, strictly speaking, the ratings of the horses, the handicappers theoretically tries and rates the horses that they'll all finish in a dead heat. But of course we know that's theoretical, because some horses are improving, some horses are losing form. And that's why horses' ratings are adjusted after each and every single time they run in a race.
Are there any non-quantitative or subjective issues that a handicapper has to take into account when reassessing a horse's rating?
Well, strictly speaking, a handicapper should go back and review every single race before allocating or adjusting a horse's rating, which he should do after each and every run.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he has to adjust the rating, but he certainly has to assess that horse's performance against the rating that the horse has. And the factors that he would look at are, did the horse jump on turns? Did he find trouble in running? Was he impeded in any way? Did he run wide into the straight? Was he balked for a run up the straight? So he will look at the way the race panned out and make an assessment of those subjective issues and try and decide how much of an impact that had on the horse not achieving the rating that the handicap had allocated him.
How important is it for punters to follow any changes in a horse's merit rating?
My advice to a punter would be horses that the handicapper keeps dropping its rating, but the horse's finishing position in proximity to the winner each time is fairly close. I would say start to follow that horse, because the handicapper believes the horse is running to form but just not close enough for him to have a winning chance, and he's dropping in. And that to me is an indication that the horse is right there, he's in close proximity to the winner, yet he's been given a small downward adjustment to his rating. I would say that's the horse I would follow. Also horses that may have had good form and a high rating, and then for some reason have had a rest, they may have had a soundness issue or some problem, and generally soundness or other illness that's prevented them from racing for a number of months.
Yeah.
And they come back to racing, and sometimes it takes them a few runs to find their form again.
Yeah.
And if you find that the handicapper suddenly drops them a fair amount over a 2 or 3 run period, and the horse suddenly starts to show form, So the horse may have had 2 or 3 runs where he hasn't run very well. Suddenly the handicapper you've seen has dropped him 8 points. His rating's gone from a 78, let's say for an example, to a 70. And suddenly that horse runs a decent race. He runs close up, he runs 4th or 5th. I would say that horse is coming to form. He's handicapped at a place where I feel he's most probably ready to produce his previously good form where the handicapper has been rated in the high 70s, and that's the horse to follow. And just from a punter's perspective, keep an eye on that horse. That horse is likely to give you some sort of return.
What take-home message do you have for punters?
I always say that bookmakers are the best guide when trying to decide what to punt in a race. If you think about it, 35% of favourites still win, even with the merit-rated system. In fact, it's slightly higher than when we had the race figure system, which is surprising. If you add the second favourite to the number of horses that win a race, it jumps up into the 60 percentiles. So basically, between the favourite and second favourite, they win 60-odd% of the time. So follow the bookmakers' boards. If the bookmakers don't get it right, they will go bankrupt. They're the best handicappers. They have a feel for this, because if they don't, the odds available to the punter will be incorrect. They will not be able to make a book, and they will go bankrupt.
What else can punters do?
Follow the top jockeys too. The top jockeys, Anton Marcus et al., they have a pretty good idea of the ability of all these horses. They study the nominations when they come out, and they will generally try and ride the horses in a race that have the greatest chance of winning, or certainly a very good chance of winning. I think Anton Marcus's strike rate is close to 30%, which means 1 in every 3.3 horses he gets on wins the race. So look at what horses the top jockeys are riding, and certainly look at the bookmaking betting calls, because it's incredible to think that in every single race, if you look up over a whole year, that's about 64-65% of the first of the winners in second place, come from the top 2 in the bookmakers board. I think what more do you need? And you're not taking even money. In a casino, you might take 36 to 1 on one number, but certainly on red and green, you're taking an even number, and you've still got the chance of something else coming up. So I would say that if you want to punt successfully, if you take those factors into account, I think you should be able to end up in front.